This problem wants us to graph this function using multiplicity and end behavior and zeros and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. Well, first of all, when we look at these, this is already in factored form, so each of these is going to give rise to a 0. So x minus 7 equals 0, which means x equals 7 is one of my zeros, and it has a multiplicity. It's called multiplicity 1. And multiplicity 1 means that it crosses there. It goes straight through. So I can go ahead and put 7 on my graph, and it's going to go through. Now, I don't know if it's going to go through like this or like this yet. And that's where the end behavior comes in. Okay, we'll do that in a second. This one right here means that x equals -3, but it has a multiplicity 2. And that's because of the squared right there. And that means it bounces. That's right. It bounces off of that point. So at -3, it's going to bounce. It's either going to do this or it's going to do that. I don't know which one yet, but I'll find out shortly. So now let's talk about the end behavior. The end behavior has to do with the leading coefficient. That's your leading coefficient and the sign of the leading coefficient, and it's a positive leading coefficient. When it's a positive leading coefficient, that means it's going to go positive leading coefficient means that let's pair that up with the degree of the thing because that's easier. The total degree is 3, which is an odd, and it's a positive leading coefficient, and these two things together mean that it goes down on the left and it goes up on the right. That's the end behavior. And so the graph that it looks like will be something like that. Or x cubed is really basically what it looks like. It looks like that. If you're looking at it just from the end behavior, as the end behavior goes. But it's going to be a little bit more wavy because obviously I've got some zeros in here and some coefficients that are changing things up. So I know that this is going to end down, so I draw it down. I know it's going to bounce here, so what does it have to do? It's going to bounce like that, right? Something like that. I'm not drawing it exactly. And I know it's going to end up here, and it's going to go through. So it's got to be something like that. Now, might not be exactly that. It probably won't be exactly that. So really, they may have asked you to also find the y-intercept, which is a good idea to find. So let's find that real quick. The y-intercept is when x equals 0, right? So what's f of 0 equal to? It's equal to 3 times -7 times 3 squared. So it's equal to -21 times 9, which is equal to -189. I did that right? So it's really far down here. Like really far down, way down there somewhere. So your graph is going to it's going to be very steep right here. It's going to go like that, and then it's going to come back up eventually and go like that. Whoops. Let's try that again. Something like that. That's what's going to happen.